Goedemorgen. Good morning, everybody. Dear Chris Opperman, Dr. Elof, Mr. Boyce, Mayor Jordan Hill-Lewis, mayors of the Northern and Western Cape, Mr. Martin Barbero, sehr geehrte Frau Generalkonsulin, liebe Frau Wehrheit, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great honor for me to welcome you all today to this Energy Indaba in the name of the Konrad Adenauer Foundation. It is a great privilege for us to co-host an event with our friends from the Afrikaner Africa Initiative on such an important topic of our time with so many exciting guests, absolute experts in their field. Best regards also from our acting country director, Dr. Holger Dix, and from our incoming new director, Gregor Jecke, who is eagerly waiting for his visa and would have loved to be here for this event today already. For those who do not know about us, we, as Konrad Adenauer Foundation, we are a German political foundation named after Germany's first chancellor after World War II, Konrad Adenauer. We are affiliated with the Christian Democratic Union, his former party, probably nowadays best known to you as the party of Angela Merkel. We still try to propagate those values Konrad Adenauer stood for and promoted in Germany after the horrors of World War II: democracy, rule of law, and social market economy. And you should know about us as well that we are a truly global foundation, with offices in more than 100 countries, among them also a regional office on climate change and energy security in Africa, located in Nairobi. If you'd like to learn more about this, or our work in general, please feel free to reach out to my colleagues, Chris Andres, Rosa Sommer, who are here today, and myself, and we are happy to tell you more about this bilaterally in the course of the day. Moreover, I would directly like to use the stage given to me to thank Chris and Marty Opperman for all the work they have invested in the preparation of this event over the last weeks. Of course, also a big thank you in the name of CAS to all other people behind the scenes who make sure that we experience such a very well-organized Indaba here today. In this respect, I would also like to mention my colleague Nancy Msibi from our office in Johannesburg, who was responsible for this event on our side. I think Chris, Marty, you were in touch with her a lot, and she is as happy as you are that we have finally all come here together. Nancy can unfortunately not be with us here today, but I'm sure she's sitting in the office at a live stream and following the proceedings very, very closely. And to be honest, I'm pretty sure that she is not the only one at the live stream right now. I learned from Marty that demand for tickets was much higher than anticipated. There's over 150 people here today. And I mean, this is very much understandable. The topic we are discussing here today is certainly one that is affecting and therefore interesting to almost everyone in South Africa. But, and that needs to be added, not only in South Africa. Energy and energy transition are topics that many, many people around the globe are forced to think about these days. As a German citizen and as a representative of a German political foundation, I may share with you that at the moment there's almost no evening on which the energy topic is not headlining our evening news shows on German TV. This is of course due to the shortage in energy supplies we are seeing in the last months, but the energy debate is one which is going for much longer already. The discussion how energy should be produced in Germany reaches back to the 80s of the last century, when heavy discussions were going on whether energy in Germany should be produced through nuclear energy or not. You must know that this debate was so heavily fought that a new political party, the Greens, was created out of this. This entire debate around nuclear energy kept on simmering over the years and gained new traction in 2011, when the nuclear catastrophe in Fukushima happened. And you might remember that as a result of this, the German government, under the then Chancellor Angela Merkel, took the decision to shut off all remaining nuclear power plants in Germany, by this year actually, 2022. So this was a process already underway when world leaders met in Paris in 2015 and discussed the very much pressing issue of climate change. We all know that fortunately they were able to agree on a 2 degrees Celsius goal with the ambition to, if possible, even limit climate change to 1.5 degrees Celsius over pre-industrial levels. And this entire development caused an entirely new debate around the globe, of course, but in Germany in particular. to reduce one's reliance on fossil energy. And while we do not have such a heavy reliance on coal as here in South Africa, and Chancellor Merkel was among the early starters on green energy, all of a sudden Germany was the one country in the world which wanted to end nuclear and coal power generation at the same time. And you can imagine this comes, of course, with great challenges when it comes to energy security, but also with regards to making it a just transition. Tens of thousands of people who lose their jobs and who need to be protected from social hardships. You cannot imagine how heavily this debate was fought in the last election campaign in Germany, the question whether coal energy should be terminated by 2038, as originally planned, or rather by 2030, or even much earlier. Now, from a South African perspective, with the daily experience of load shedding, this entire debate on whether one should continue to use nuclear energy or not, or how quickly plants can be retired, must look a bit ridiculous. And to be honest, this is something we Europeans fail to recognize when we debate about energy transition in Africa. I can understand that Africans react a bit toxic when we in the West ask them to reduce the proportion of fossil fuels in their energy mix, while there are still almost 600 million people on the African continent without access to electricity. And of course, our arguments get even weaker when the coal exports from South Africa to Germany are rising these days with our need to replace gas from Russia. But please don't understand me wrong. While I understand these contradictions in our European energy policy approach, this should not cover up the clearly identifiable challenges we are facing in today's world. Climate change is a scientific fact. If we look at what happened in Durban in April, if we look at fires in Europe and America during the Northern Hemisphere summer period, but also if we only observe how our weather has changed over the past 20 years, we can clearly see that something is happening to our climate. And if we do not act about it, the consequences this will have for all of us, as humanity as a whole, will be very severe. So we are clear that we must act about climate change. And this is without question a consensus at the COP, which is just going on in Egypt. And we know that this also implies that at least on the long term, we must make changes to the way how we produce energy. And clearly, this does not get easier with the complexities of the world we are living in. We all saw the fuel and energy prices rise over the past 9 months. And we are all aware what a significant impact this has on people in their daily livelihoods, especially, but not only the poor. But while we are very clear in articulating this bad state of affairs, we should be as clear in articulating what caused this massive increase in prices. And I would like to say this clear and loud. This is to the largest part due to an illegal war of aggression by a single state, Russia, and its leader Vladimir Putin, against an innocent state, the sovereign Ukraine, and who does not take a clear stance against this war of aggression and remains neutral, gives, in my opinion, in the opinion of the Konrad Adenauer Foundation, up his right to complain about high energy prices. If you do not condemn those who deliberately cause a rise in energy prices, you forsake your right to complain about high energy prices. If you wish to complain about energy prices, complain about those who do not condemn a war of aggression against an innocent state. I know that all this, the challenges we face, load shedding, climate change, the war in Ukraine, and its implications on global energy supply sketch a rather pessimistic picture of the world we are living in, and on today's topic of energy in particular. But to end on a positive note, I believe that we as society have the potential to solve all these challenges. If I just look at the history of our two countries, South Africa and Germany, and the massive obstacles we have overcome in the past century, I am confident that if we believe in democracy, the rule of law, a true social market economy, these values we as Konrad Adenauer Foundation try to propagate wherever we are around the world every single day, then we have the chance to overcome every challenge. And I am very sure that the vast knowledge all of you bring to the table, which we will hear about in the course of this day, can make a difference in overcoming these massive challenges. So therefore, I'm once again very happy that we, the Afrikaner Africa Initiative and the Konrad Adenauer Foundation, were able to make possible this conference here today, and I'm very much looking forward to hearing all of your inputs. If you would like to connect with us, to learn more about our foundation, please feel free to reach out. Thank you for your attention, and a great conference to all of us. Thank you very much.